I really don't know how loud this fan is behind me. I don't think it's that loud, but I guess we shall see. Hello, everyone. This is Terrell here from Terrell Game Vlogs, here to bring you my teen romantic comedy SNAFU Season 2, episode, I believe, 7? Yeah, 7 review. We're going to talk about everything. I don't even know why the review is so late. Partially, the review is so late because of laziness. Actually, that's the best way to describe it. Weird ass laziness that is spawned from absolutely nothing. I don't know why, but I don't even know it's laziness. It's not laziness to watch the episode. It's just laziness to talk about it. And I always kind of set myself up where I start talking about it to get myself into the mood of talking about it. And by the time I do that, I just don't want to fucking talk about it anymore. I don't know what's going on. Also, it could have something to do with the fact that I've been looking up consistent information. What I do is, like, I'll watch the episode raw, and then I'll watch the episode in subtitles like twice, and then I'll go online and look at discussion boards where everyone's thinking, where their head's at with the episode and what scenes that they cut out, and it becomes a big ass mess. So I'm never in like the right mindset to because I feel like I've tired myself out because of all the information I look up on it. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's because I know too much that it's fucking up my sensibility of being consistent with it. Because it's not like my interest in the series is dead. It's just my interest of talking about it is kind of like waned. But not to the point where I don't like doing it. Just to the point where I'm not as like, I gotta get it out now. Sorry. Anyways. So this episode pretty much just kind of outlines what we've been going through this entire season. Especially with this particular arc. The main thing to take away is that Higai is truly questioning his motives now. It's like he looks at his situation, he looks how he handled every major issue that the club ran into beforehand, and then he looks at the results of it all, and he starts sitting there going, am I doing the right thing? Which the answer is no, but the way and because of the way the anime presents itself, you feel bad for Higai because it's not like he's doing everything. Like he admits, it's not like his methods are 100% wrong. He just knows that overall that his methods in themselves can't fix the problem. At the very most he could do, his way of handling it is pretty much like dropping the antibiotics on the dude's wound, meaning it hurts like it's like one of the. It's not a terrible idea, but there are better ways to handle it kind of situation. And that's where we're at. I will mention a few things that the light novel apparently left out on that I've read in comments. The scene with Totsuka actually there's a slight line that's missed, which actually would have brought in a very interesting concept. Totsuka was kind of jealous that Hikigai confides more with his Mokuza than he does him, showing that Totsuka does have his other. I'm not gonna say Totsuka has another side to him, but Totsuka isn't just used as trap bait. He actually does view him. Also, the cool thing with him I thought was interesting. And I think that's kind of been the other thing about this season, because I know how many people in the light novel fan base is like, oh my god, they left out all this material, which brings into the other situation that apparently there's another Kawasaki scene that was taken out, which is the introduction of her little sister. Because not only does she have a little brother, she has a little sister that gets taken out. So that's something that we can miss. So those are the two major things I've been hearing the most about being taken out. Because most of this episode was really just kind of Yui being concerned and really bringing everything to the forefront about, do you think Yukino wanted to be president? Which the answer is yes, but you'll never hear it from her mouth. The thing about SNAFU Season 2 and SNAFU in general is that it's a show that has a lot of implications to it. It doesn't just outright tell you everything. It does a lot of reading in between the lines. Because even people who read the light novel have mentioned it. It's not like Yukino ever says that that's what she wanted to do. It's just inherently implied And that's why I can see why, because I've looked up reviews of the first season, and anyone who doesn't like the season usually says because the series looks boring. Well, yeah, because you got to learn how to read in between the lines. Like, that's bread and butter. That is the bread and butter of SNAFU, reading in between the lines. Unfortunately, this is also a practice that Yukino holds to be like God tier, and is probably the biggest cause for like half of her fucking problems. Because she makes all these goddamn implications, and there's all these subtle little hints and shit that of things she wants to do, and it's like, and it's supposedly like, you expect Hikigai and you to pick up on that. Because that was kind of the crux of this current situation. It's like, you wanted to become president because you wanted to see if your friendship was stronger than just because the club wouldn't be the same. You wanted to see if your friendship was strong enough to handle you being in a different club. And you looked at you and Hikigai's actions to protect the club as being, they just care about superficial relationships, which really wasn't the case. Neither one of them was really thinking that far ahead. But once again, it's like pretty much like the problem that Hikigai had where he was putting Yukino on the pedestal. She has done that in spades for fucking Hikigai. Like, apparently, Hikigai was like borderline God tier to her. Because, like, literally, she expects things out of him that don't even make any fucking sense. Granted, I can see how she made the misconstruing, like, you know, well, I thought, because that's the reason why she says at the end of the episode, she's like, well, not this episode, but the previous episode, she was like, I thought you would understand. Well, of course you would think that, because Hikigai's already mentioned to you before that he hates superficiality. But you also got to remember is that Hikigai is an infallible human, meaning, no, fallible. Yeah, fallible, not infallible, fallible. Hikigai is a fallible human that makes mistakes and contradicts himself. And that's currently what's going on. And people also don't understand, some of you guys may not get why, like, almost every scene with her so far, like, ever since, like, maybe episode, like, 2, has been fucking hard to watch. Well, in this particular arc specifically, she's been dead. That's the best way to describe it. She has all but given up on everything in this fucking arc. Because, which is why we get to the scene at the end of the episode where she's just kind of like, dude, you don't have to come to the club anymore. You're obviously not coming for us. You're obviously coming for us. Which, in a sense, shows Hikigai a change. You know, Hikigai used to do things and be proud of the way he did things because he knew he was doing... The only reason why he could do them is because he was doing them out of no one's consideration. Versus now, where almost every action he's taken since the president stuff has been is trying to be considerate for the girls. It's like, the girls want him here, so he panders to that. Like, he's pandering, which contradicts his whole mantra. It also contradicts her mantra. And ironically enough, she's pandering too. See, she has her thoughts and feelings about the way they handle things with the student council stuff. Even Yui and her both realizing that he did some underhanded shit to get Ishiki to become president. And then on top of that, realizing that he's not only doing underhanded shit to get her to that position, he lied to them about helping her by himself. You know, she has all these thoughts and feelings, and part of me thinks that she just can't express it in words, and the other part of me thinks that she literally is giving up. Because it was really prevalent during the whole student council election thing that, like, she doesn't agree with the way he does things, but she can't come up with a better alternative. So in a sense, she feels like he beat her, even though he wasn't really trying to beat her. And so, because remember, one of the first requests she got was from Harutsuka saying, fix him. That was like her first real request, from our knowledge, is to fix him. And it's become obvious that through all these events, she views him closer as one of the closest people that's around her, but she can't fix him. She can't beat him logically. Not to something that she can really stand up and be truly proud of. Truly and be like, yes, I figured you out. I know how to fix you and all this other shit. She can't do it. And so she gave up. And then also to be slapped in the face, because her whole thing is that she thought that their friendship was strong enough to handle it. And she wanted to prove it by testing it. And then she also wanted to prove her sister wrong by saying, and that was the thing. Like, from a normal person's perspective, it looks like you just got baited by your sister. That was the whole thing about the Haruno thing with her. It was like, you obviously just got baited by your sister again to do exactly what she wants you to do. Granted, it's for your benefit, but she pretty much takes the Hikigaya approach. She makes herself look like the villain to get you to do what she wants to do. Because the whole thing was like, oh, I didn't become student president either, so I guess you're going to do the same thing as I did because you're following in my shadow. Obviously, that was to push you away and to get you to become your own individual person. Like, in retrospect, that was not a bad thing for Haruno to do. She just took the Hikigaya approach about doing it. But even then, it's like, well, you and Hikigaya kind of would have more read that as you got baited by your sister. And I guess technically you could argue that they should have known well enough to read in between the lines. But like, that's Yukinoshi's whole character flaw. She refuses to just be open and honest with shit. And sometimes I feel like she just doesn't know the words, and other times I feel like she just doesn't, like, as I said, she's such a human interaction. That's probably what it really boils down to. She doesn't know how to interact with him. And so this episode just really, if anything, outlines that Hikigaya is starting to truly see that he is flawed. Like, the way he does things is flawed, and it's not going to fix every situation. On top of learning that he's run out of fucking options. See, the way he would usually handle this is throwing himself under the bus. But that, in this situation, it wouldn't fix the problem. And two, he's trying to change. That's why he hasn't really even thought about doing it. Side note, I did like the Totsuka moments, and I did like the him and his sister moments. I thought those were pretty nice. Komachi has earned some major points with me this season. That's just me personally. Totsuka, Zamokaza, and Kawasaki are about the same. Granted, Kawasaki's character has been completely nerfed in the anime, so yeah, I guess that's not really a fair argument to make, because I know people who fucking love her in the goddamn light novels. And even because one of the things you see in this episode is like everyone's relying on him now. Like, he's become the president without actually becoming the president, which really makes you just go, yeah, maybe you should have just let her become president. But of course, they weren't thinking that, and she's like, you don't have to force yourself. You don't have to be concerned with us, all this other shit. Because she's giving the fuck up. That's whole Yukinoshi's whole deal. He doesn't know how to deal with the president because he's fucking running him in circles and shit. Aroha isn't stepping up at all. She's allowing Hikigaya to take control. He looks at Rumi, sees that Rumi's problem is still the damn same. She's still somewhat of a loner in the background and shit. Like, he's being fucked from all sides, and because he's also not 100% good with his feelings, he doesn't know what to do. He's like, fuck, I've run out of options. Like, I can't really, like, he wants to talk to Yukinoshita, but he can't find the words to what he wants to say. Like, he's like, because they're having the conversation, there's like a few moments where Hikigaya's like, like he wants to say something, but he hasn't made the breakthrough. You know, the one where he's like, he does it for him instead of for someone else. Because as we saw, and that kind of goes, and Yui's struggling in her own right too, because it's like, Yui's whole job is to keep the group together. That doesn't work when you got one side that's dead, which is, to me, is what Yukinoshita just doesn't care anymore. Like, at all. She's just kind of like, fuck it. She's just like, fuck it. Because she doesn't, and granted, she's lying to herself too, because she's like, she cares about them too much to push them away and use her sharp tongue and say what she really wants to say, which is kind of a contradiction because that's her character. Like, that's what she was known for, is that she was truly honest about her feelings and opinions. And now she's not even sugar. She's just not saying anything. She's become really complacent and aloof and shit, and essentially died so they can keep this fake sense of normality, even though she hates the fake sense of normality. But she doesn't just say what she wants to say and tell them how she really feels. So she dies. She's been dead for about 2 episodes now. The rest of like, before she was on life support, now she's just fucking dead. And she's giving up on him, and he doesn't want to give up on them. He still cares about him. That's why he was being considerate too. I guess it's the other thing about the light novel, I should say. The scene makes a little bit more sense in the light novel at the end, because in the light novel, Hikigaya, instead of just saying he's not going to be able to come to the club for a while, he makes up excuses consistently on a daily basis for not showing up to the club. Like, so he consistently lies about it instead of just giving that one blanket lie that he does in the episode. In the actual light novel, he does like a daily, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do this while he's lying. The other notable thing about this episode is that Orimoto shows some self-constraint and shows that she can be a human being. Because right now she's been fucking preach it girl. God, I hate her. Soriaru! 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 Shut the fuck up, Orimoto. God damn it. It's so fucking annoying. It is so goddamn annoying. Every time you're in one of these stupid ass meetings and then Mr. Jazz Hands wants to be like, we should come up with a way that we can involve everyone intrinsically to work with this brilliant idea and using fucking genuine like a whole bunch of fucking big words that doesn't mean any fucking thing because you're still talking to everyone in circles, and then every 5 seconds you hear Soriaru, that's the ticket, good on ya, I like that idea. Like, fuck it, you're a yes woman, shut the fuck up, Orimoto. But she does show some human characteristics by not telling Aroha that he asked her out when they were younger. He decided to handle this like she decided to just be like stuff happened in the past. And Hikigai was shocked. That's why he was like, oh shit. Although there is one scene I want to talk about, and there's nothing. The scene in itself isn't important. The scene just confuses me. There's the scene where he meets up the Roha and he offers to take the bag again, and she's like, oh, it's light enough, it's fine. And then they're walking towards the fucking, center to have the next meeting. That scene drags on way too long for, like, no reason. I don't know, that just bothered me. I just remember seeing in the episode, man, like I was half expecting me to see something that I should have. Like, I thought there was something there to catch, and there wasn't, so I was just like, what the fuck was that about? Whatever. Oh, I guess I should go ahead and say this, though. If you are a fan of My Teen Romantic Comedy SNAFU Season 2, this next episode, you need to do a live reaction for. I'm not going to give you the context of why. You need to do a live reaction to. Period. There needs to be a live reaction from anybody who's enjoying this season. For someone who knows what happens, I promise you, you want a motherfucking live reaction recorded. Do a fucking live reaction. It's totally worth it, I promise you. Live reaction, please. Thank you. God damn it. Do a live reaction. Because I'm not even going to say anything. Just do a live reaction. And with that, I don't even have to do predictions or statements for next week because I already know what's coming. So, do a fucking live reaction. Vlogs again from your boy Terrell. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Also, if you're staying to the end of the video, ta-da!